the first thing we're going to talk about is how to get in and how to create a new page in the website, how to put content on a page on your website. And the website we're using today to demonstrate is the math website. So right now that's in testing phase, and the address of it is test.math.udel.edu. When this website goes into production, that address will change to publish.math.udel.edu. I'm going to go ahead and enter that, and you're going to see that I'm going to get prompted to log in. Oh, I'm already logged in. That's right. I'm logged in as myself. This is actually what will happen to you if you use Internet Explorer, if you have your credentials saved. I'm going to actually change my login here, and I'm going to log in as a different user, because right now I'm logged in as the Arts and Sciences Rich Duggan, and that's a user who has full control of everything on this site. I'm a super user, if you want to use that term. I'm going to change over here, and I'm going to sign in as my UD user. So this is how you will sign in every day or every time you use this. You're going to put win \. That's important. The \ is the key over the enter key from upper left to lower right, and then my username. And then I'm going to put my UD. This is the login password that you would use for web forms. And log in. And the first thing that you're going to see is that notice this dark bar up here now does not contain all the stuff that it did before. That's because this user, this Duggan, only has the right to look at this as if it was a public web page. And this is the way SharePoint works. We'll talk more about it in detail later. But what you'll notice is now if I point to research, I can navigate to research, but I can't navigate to these other things. They don't even come up because I don't have any rights in those things, and there's no published pages there yet. We'll talk about pages and published in a few minutes. So I'm going to go to the research website, and now you'll notice that now I have controls up here, and that indicates that I have some capabilities on this site beyond just viewing. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is make a new page in this section of the site, what we call a subsite, the research subsite. So one of the most important controls that you'll find is this control up here that says Site Actions. And if you have edit capabilities in one of the sections, this is the same menu you will see. And what we want to do is, we have choices here. We could edit this page that we're on, and we can create a new page. And then we'll talk about these other controls later. I want to make a new page, and so I'm just going to click the Create a New Page button. And this little pop-up that pops up is a SharePoint control. It's not, we can't modify it. And so it's important to note that in other places you'll see we've added special help windows and things to help you have more detail about how to do things or what not to do. In this case, we can't modify what it says here. It's important to note that what you put in this place will be the URL, the address of the page that you make. So if you use capitals here, those capitals will appear up here in this URL, right here. And it'll be this, instead of default.aspx, it's going to say whatever you put there. We recommend that you do not use capital letters. You don't want to use punctuation marks, numbers. Generally speaking, you want to stick with lowercase letters. And the convention now on the web, in the past you'll see a lot of people using underscores. That will work, but we recommend you don't, because it's hard for people to see them if you send somebody a URL. But you notice it says blank spaces in the page name will be converted to a hyphen. And so a nice easy convention, I'm going to make a page, and this is the demo that I do all the time, about, I happen to be into Chinese violinists, so I'm going to make a page about 2 Chinese violinists. And so what you notice is I just typed it just the way I ordinarily would, except that I didn't capitalize it as if it were a title. And you're going to see in a few minutes how you can change that for appearance purposes elsewhere. And those spaces are going to get converted to hyphens when I say create. Now that's it. I have my web page. Now all I need to do is put content on it. Now you are looking at this component, special component for SharePoint. It's actually called a page layout, but it's a very complex and multifunctional one that Eric and Trevor made, called OmniPage. Everything that's on this page now appears there, everything below this ribbon, because our programmers built it. So we have total control over the way it looks and behaves. The first thing you'll see at the top here is, well, let me just point out, most of you have seen this before, undoubtedly. It looks just like, or almost just like, the ribbon in Microsoft Word. This is one of the reasons why we like SharePoint so much, because people are already familiar with the Microsoft Office products. SharePoint is actually considered a Microsoft Office product. It makes it easier for you to use. And so this is called the ribbon in Office, and it's called the ribbon here. It does have different functions, and some of the functions have been disabled in different places to keep things consistent. Then below the part of the page that's on every page, what's called the master page, is the actual content area of the page. So we have a left navigation pane here. We have something that Math has decided to have on every page here. And down below we have the footer. These things can't be changed here. What you can change is just this content area, and that's what we're going to be working with now. So note that there's some little question marks around here. Now we have help that we can build and we can help you look at, and so we hope that means the help is actually helpful, as opposed to help in so many programs where it's not really very helpful. So this will give you an explanation about what you can do with this page name. And you can see it says the text is drawn from the new page name given when the page is created. That's the dialog box we just looked at. Changes will be reflected in the navigation menu, that's here, and the tab at the top of the browser window. And that depends on the browser. But it is important to note that that page name does get presented up there. Screen readers for visually impaired people will read that tab. So the name of the page is important for that as well as for the menu. It says, but changes will not alter the URL. So it won't, now if you change this, it won't change what's here. In order to change this after the fact, you need to go into some internals in SharePoint. It's pretty easy to do. We're not going to show you how to do it now. That's why we want you to think about the name of the page before you initially create it. If you wish, it says, if you wish to alter the page, see your support person for help. So people that have management responsibilities can help you do that. We can I close this, Eric? Where's the, oh, there it is. Close dialog box is not styled yet. Okay, so I'm going to change this page name. I'm going to make it pretty now. I'm just going to capitalize the T in 2. These violinists. And then that's the way this page name will appear over here in the menu. The next thing to note is that there's a page options dialog, which also has a help box. If you pull that up, there's lots of detail here. I probably shouldn't read all this out loud to you right now. But anytime you have trouble with this, or wondering what it is, this does give you a very accurate and helpful description of what these things are, and we may go over some of it in detail in a little bit. You might also note or want to note that all of these help boxes are movable. So if you need help with this and you want to keep it on the screen, you can actually move it and resize it and read it while you're working on the page. It'll stay on the top, right? Okay, and so I'm going to close it for now. And then this page options dialog also can be moved around. It lives there by default, but you can move it around, and we're going to work with all these controls in a little bit. So the first thing we need to know after we change the page name is we need to know that we have to put a page header. The page will not let you save it or check it in without a header on the page. That's the title that actually appears at the top of the page. The header, the banner, the headline that appears at the top of the page. So in this case, I'm just going to cut and paste this because I really want this to appear, or copy and paste it. I want this to appear just the way it does in the menu. This is the title of my page. Now this is where you get to see what makes content management cool. If anybody's ever used something like Dreamweaver or some other program or coded web pages by hand before, you know that you have to decide, you have to put information in to control how that font will look. What style will it be? How big will it be? What color will it be? Now, with the content management system, our team has predetermined what the style of the page will be. This takes this out of your hands, and you don't have to worry about whether you're styling the text correctly or consistently across the site. Every page will have a header. The header will be in that font, that color, on every page. There are things that you do have control over, certainly, but that's one that you don't. Now, pages in OmniPage are divided into sections, and this is part of the cleverness of this. Every section has specific attributes. Every section has a header. Every section has a text box. And you notice when I clicked in there, this click here to add body text disappears. Basically, I can click anywhere there. That's actually a helpful thing to know, is that if you click out of there and it comes back, it's truly empty. Sometimes you can get a hidden character in there that will cause a little bit of a hiccup. And you'll wonder, well, why can't I make this section? You'll see later we want to make the sections disappear sometimes. If that doesn't come up, there's something sitting in there that you can't see when you click out of it. The section header, unfortunately, the section header won't do that. But you also can't put characters in there. I don't think that won't show up. And in most cases, you won't have problems with this at all. So every section has a section header. The header is like a subheading on a newspaper. So by default, you can divide a page into 4 sections of text, and you can put a header on each section. As you'll see, what's really cool about this is that when you don't use some component on the page, it doesn't appear at all. And that is a key thing to understand about the way this works. If it's not there, it doesn't appear. I'm going to demonstrate that, and you'll see what I mean. And then, so now we have a body, we have a section header, we have a body, and then we have a media tab. Each section can have one media item in it. Media item basically means a photo or a movie. So it doesn't have to have a media item, but it can have one photo or a movie. Photos can be all different sizes. They can be on the left or the right. Same with movies. And then that media item can have a caption or not. And so if the caption is added, it appears. If you don't add the caption, the space for the caption doesn't appear. Same thing with the header. If you add a section header, it appears. If you don't add a section header, the space that would have been occupied with the section header does not appear. So things flow together, as you will see. So now we're going to add some body text. Okay, we good?